Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I have a ship tour for you today, and this is from our cruise in summer of 2025 on Oasis of the Seas. If you're not familiar with Oasis, it is kind of the OG mega ship. The first one over 200,000 gross tons. It is just a monster. But the nice thing about it is it just has so much to offer. And that's what I want to show you today. This is going to be an exterior tour on the ship. So it's going to be Central Park and Boardwalk that are more in the middle. But then we're going to take a walk around that top deck that I always call the sun and fun activities. This is the rock climbing wall, the basketball court, the water slides, the flow rider, pools, hot tubs, all that good stuff. So please remember to subscribe to the channel. Doing that really helps me out. It gets my videos in front of more people out there. And if you like my content, I have more cruises booked. So I have more videos coming out into this year and into next year. I hope you enjoy and hit that subscribe button. And here we are on deck 16 outside the Windjammer. Now, I know I just said we're going to start down in Central Park and on the Boardwalk, but I want to finish with those instead because I filmed part of the Aqua Theater show, and I just want to kind of show you what that's like at the end of the video. So, like I said, we're up here on deck 16. This is, so now you're one deck above the pools. So if you really want to worship the sun, get everything you can, this is where you want to be, but you're going to have to take a trip down the steps to cool off or jump in the water. So, you can see we've got a couple bars right here. These covered areas where you can lay down, those are an extra charge, and they've started adding these on some of the ships, so those are not free. But any of like the navy blue lounge chairs here, those are all no cost. And I just said all the water was down on the deck, and we just walked by a hot tub. So but you get a good look right there at the water slides and everything. This is fairly early in the morning, as you can kind of tell. So they're getting everything ready for the day, and that's why there's really nobody out and about getting any sun or much in the pool right now. And we're going to circle around. So we are heading toward the front of the ship. And through these gates and up the stairs right here, that is the suites sun deck. So you would actually have to tap your SeaPass card on there to get through the gates. And you can see you've got the water slides right here. And take a look back where we just came. So this is the other side of the Windjammer. We're going to take a peek down into the children's play area. We'll be down on that deck in just a second, but this gives you a good view of what it's like. I got some of it later on when they kind of had the water flowing, so you can kind of see all the little water activity they have for the kids down there. Unlike some of the ships, the jogging track that's actually measured out, for a quarter mile or something, that is on, I want to say, deck 4 or 5. So you're not going to see that here. On some of the other Royal Caribbean ships, it actually goes around the pools. So just beware, it's different than on some of their smaller ships. And another good look down into the pools and water slides. And kind of like on any ship, any full day at sea, if you want a spot up here to catch some sun, you don't need to worry about saving a spot, even on a sea day. But on a sea day, if you want to be down by the pool or right nearby there, you probably want to get there early and don't do the thing where you just drop your towel and then you come back to it later. That's kind of frowned upon on the cruise ships now. So As I mentioned, these are a different set of stairs, but those go up to the suite sun deck. And this dome thing here is the cover for the cantilevered hot tub. They have one on each side. And right here on this water slide, if you have somebody on there, you can see them as they're going around. So now we're in the front of the ship, right near the Solarium. And we're going to enter through here. And surprise, surprise, the first thing you see is the bar. So never too far to go on a cruise ship to find a drink. But this is so you can enter the Solarium from deck 16 or down on 15. And as you can see here, if you look up, this is open air and it is somewhat covered. Like if you were going through some rain, you could probably find a spot where you weren't getting drenched or anything. But it is open air. The difference that they made on, I believe, Wonder and Utopia of the Seas is the Solarium is all enclosed. So it's climate controlled all the time in there. And it's actually surprising how well they do in keeping it comfortable in there. Now, the Solarium, up until a couple years ago, it was 16 and above. Now it's 18 and above. So this is truly adults only. They don't really have anything in the way of a swimming pool in here, but they have plenty of hot tubs for you to relax and everything. And you can see the setup is pretty unique here. But you are in the front of the ship, so you get some great views up here, pulling into port. If you want to check it out, this would be a great spot to be. They do set up some lounge chairs out here outside the glassed area if you wanted to get out there and get some sun as well. Gives you a good view of the whole thing and also seeing the amount that it's opened as opposed to how much is covered. And again, I walked through here, I think it was on one of our full days at sea, and it was obviously more crowded than this, but it wasn't what I would call crowded. You could still find plenty of places to sit, plenty to lay down, relax, everything like that. And they do have the Solarium Bistro. So kind of want to say it's a mini windjammer. But again, it's right connected to this. You'll see that in just a second. So it really is like 18 and above, but it's kind of a quieter spot to get something, especially for breakfast, if that's what you want. And you're going to kind of avoid some of the crowds that are in the windjammer. And it's right through here. And we'll take a look at when they're open. And then we're going to continue around to the pool deck. That is one of the hot tubs here that hang over the side of the ship, complete with TVs up above. And as we continue to walk around, you're going to see right here, this is where one of the water slides come out. And so, like anywhere on the ship, you're going to have some area, some seats and lounge chairs that are in the shade and some that are in the sun. You may have to move during the day to see where they are. The spiral staircase there is what takes everybody up to the water slides. And we're going to take a peek down into Central Park here. So I would say this, Central Park due to the band that plays by the pool. Some of the Central Park balconies might be a little bit louder during the day, but they're much more quiet at night. Where sometimes with the Boardwalk, and especially if there's a show in the Aqua Theater, the balconies there may be quieter during the day and a little bit louder at night. They definitely pump up the music when the Aqua Theater show is going on. And when the pools are up and running and everything, there will be stations over here. Obviously, the bars are open, but there's going to be stations over there. If you need to get a towel or something like that, you do need to sign one out. And we're heading over to Splashaway Bay. This is where the kids can have some fun. I'd say the little kids. And but you can see as the water gets going here, all the places for them to run around and play in the water, stay cool. They kind of have a mini version of the water slides. They've got a couple of the drench buckets up above. Those will get going sooner or later. And just a lot of places for them to play and have a lot of fun. And as we work our way around, there's even one for the little kids. If this was a little too intimidating for them, it's right here on the left. You can see they have a little slide and just some water to splash around with, but have some fun. And there's a good look back view of that. And we're going to continue around. So now we are on the other side of the ship. This is one of the main pool areas. And it is kind of nice because they have the little shallow section that's about 6 inches deep of water. So if you want to just kind of sit in there and be in the water but not submerged, it helps to kind of keep you cool, and it makes the whole water area a little bit bigger. And you can see right here, there's a hot tub straight ahead. I don't even know how many pools and hot tubs this ship has. I think it would be 4 pools and probably about a dozen different hot tubs. And then we're going to come back around. So now this is more the ground level where the water slides end up. And you'll see that in just a second. And any of the pools on their ships, once they remove the netting, it is kind of officially open. You can go ahead and get in and have a great time. And here we are coming up on where the water slides wind up at the end. And these are the racing ones if you wanted to compete against a friend of yours. So now we're still on deck 15. We're walking towards the back of the ship, and we're going to pass by El Loco Fresh. This is something that has definitely caught on with Royal Caribbean. I kind of call it Chipotle Light. They have a lot of prepared burritos and fajitas and stuff like that. This is all grab and go. There's no extra price with that, and you can see the different hours of operation depending if they're at sea or we're in port. And this is a very popular spot during lunchtime, especially. And they'll have all the toppings set out here and plenty of places to sit. But the other nice thing back here is you just get a fantastic view. We're walking by on the right-hand side here is I call it the basketball court, but you can see they're not playing basketball right now. I think they might be doing pickleball. These are definitely multi-use courts. They may have it set up for soccer, basketball, pickleball, dodgeball, anything like that. And as we head back, if you do love the aft view on a cruise ship, to watch the wake, maybe watch the sun go down or the sun rise, this is where you want to be. This is just a great spot for it to catch those amazing views. And if you want to entertain yourself, you get a chance to watch some of the people do the Flow Rider, which is Royal Caribbean's surf simulator. And straight ahead, the gigantic fish. That is the ultimate abyss. Now, this is not a water slide. It's a dry slide. You enter through the mouth and you get on this kind of mat thing that you kind of has a handle to it, and you get in and you zip down. It's the fastest way to get from this deck all the way down to deck 6 on the boardwalk. And give you a look right there. It looks like it's closed off right now. I'm sure they'll be open a little bit later. And on this ship, not on all the Oasis, but on this one, they still do have 2 of the Flow Riders. On some of I think it's on Wonder and on Utopia, they did away with one of the Flow Riders, and it's more of a kids' play area. Coming down the steps here, we're going to take a look at the mini golf course, which is pretty nice. And again, everything back here, from the sports court to the Flow Rider, Ultimate Abyss, the mini golf, all of it. There's even a zip line here. All of that is included with the cost of your cruise. You don't pay extra for any of those. Now, I think you can do private lessons on the Flow Rider, but again, that's just by choice. Anything down here, anything in this area is all free of charge. Now, what you're seeing through the glass is the back of the Windjammer. And, oh, no, I'm sorry. That is not the Windjammer. That is the suites. I think it's their coastal kitchen. And above that are some of the Royal Crown suites, which are pretty much some of the best on the ship. Let's meet here. This is the Portside Barbecue. And I was actually going to try it, but they had on our cruise a couple times they had pulled pork and we loved it. So we got it each time. So I kind of satisfied myself in not really needing to pay extra for a barbecue. But I will say this, if you're in the mood for a barbecue and it's open for lunch, I looked at the prices. The prices were very reasonable. I mean, you might pay like $12 or $15 for a lunch for like really good food. And I would say if you're into it, definitely check that out. But they have inside and outside seating here. And then we make our way back around to the pool. And here we go. Ping pong table here. And again, there's no charge for that. They keep all that kind of fenced in. And now we are down on deck 8. We are going to take a walk through Central Park. As soon as you come through, you can see you got the map right here. Not that you really need a map, but it is kind of nice to know what's here. And looking up, you can see all of the Central Park balconies. And this is where, if you do any of the specialty dining, Chops Grill is their steakhouse on board. This is the rising tide bar through the glass here, which I recommend. It's just kind of a fun little thing to do. But any of the specialty dining, be it Chops, any of the other ones, they're pretty much all going to be right around here in Central Park. But you can see how nicely this is maintained. They have just thousands of plants here. The guys are constantly tending to all the plants. That gives you a good look up at the pool deck and some of the balconies that look down into the area. Trellis bar. This is kind of a nice place to go because it's a little bit quieter, a little bit more subdued. Through there, I would say if you want to get some pictures of you and your friends and family, that's a great spot to do it with all the plants as a background. Now, one complimentary restaurant that is here is this one right here. It's the Park Cafe. And again, almost think of it as a little bit of a mini windjammer. There's some buffet type items. They can make a salad for you, anything like that. And again, inside seating, outside seating, it's really nice. And at night in some of these covered areas, they will have somebody playing a guitar or something like that, or singing. They try to keep the whole area active during any time of the day. And right here, we can actually look down into the promenade. And I believe that is Starbucks right below us there with those circles. But some of these window areas here help to bring a lot of natural light down into the promenade, which kind of makes it nice. They do have a little library here, nothing to brag about in that. And they do have some of the finer shops besides like Regalia and all that are in the promenade. Some of the higher end watches they have here, Omega, Breitling, Tag Heuer, all right here. And don't ignore the seating area here on deck 9. That's if you want to just if you're waiting for somebody for dinner or something like that, you can just go out there and have a seat and just kind of people watch. And we're going to circle back around. So you have the wine bar here with vintages. And pretty much any of these, you're going to have some, outside seating, some inside seating, all of that. Giovanni's, that is the Italian specialty restaurant on board. We haven't had it here, but we did on Utopia of the Seas, and it's very, very good. And a little peek at their menu. And then as we walk through here, you can just get a good feel for all of these plants are real. There's not one fake plant in the whole area in Central Park. So it's a really, really great area that they did. And coming back out to the trellis bar. And we'll walk by the rising tide bar, which is behind the glass here on the right. If you haven't seen my interior tour video, I'll put a link to it in the description. But there is a spot in the promenade where you can check to see when the next up or down is on that rising tide bar. I would say that 150 Central Park is probably the highest end specialty restaurant that they have here. And again, they have some of those, the lookout areas up there on deck 9. And one more peek at the balconies up above. And take you right back to where we started. And now that we're done with Central Park, we're going to take you down to deck 6 and show you the boardwalk. There's a couple things I want to point out here. We're going to take a look at the general area. As you walk out, you can see right away the carousel is right there. They have all the stages of the horses as they're being made for the carousel. And you can see they have some skee ball over there, some basketball hoops, and those are an extra charge. Oh, I don't think they're basketball. I think they're like a little bullseye type of thing. Foosball table. Turn, you have the doghouse right here, and that's for hot dogs and sausages. That gets busy lunchtime up through the afternoon. And you have the carousel here. The carousel, there's no charge for that, just so you know. Sugar Beach, that's a candy store on board. There is a charge there. You can get some of the specialty ice creams right here. The beach shop this is kind of if you forgot a swimsuit, if you forgot a hat, sunglasses, anything like that, you can get it in there. And here we have Johnny Rockets. This is kind of the old-fashioned hamburger place. They do have good milkshakes there and all that. And here you get a good look at where you come down from the Ultimate Abyss up on, I think it's either deck 15 or 16. You wind up down here. So, and the only thing beyond that towards the back of the ship here is the Aqua Theater. And we're going to get a good look at this. And there's a couple things I want to show you here. I have a clip of the show as it was going on, but I was not sitting down on this level. Excuse me. I was one deck up. And it's this part over here that kind of sticks out. So you got the rock climbing wall. There's actually two. There's one on the other side as well. And we're going to take a look. So that right there is deck 7, and there's a set of stairs that goes up there from the boardwalk, or you can get it down through the passenger deck. And there it is on this side. That is a great place to watch the Aqua Theater show, and that's where I filmed from. It gives you a great perspective to see exactly how they do it with the stage that goes up and down in the waters, and the dancers can dance on it, and then they kind of are floating or swimming and all of that. So it's kind of cool to check it out from down there. Much drier. My word of warning is if you go to the Aqua Theater show, you're going to notice the first 3 rows have towels laid out, and you will absolutely need them because you're definitely going to get wet. They like to splash the crowd there. So even if you're in decks, maybe four, or not decks, but the rows 4 or 5, you're going to get a little bit wet there too. So this is Playmakers, the sports bar on board, and you do see it is kind of nice. They have the digital boards out here from early in the morning to tell you what is going to be showing here during the day. So if you're on during, football, baseball, basketball season, I think Wimbledon was going on here. It was nice to kind of check it out and see what was happening. A good look at the carousel, and as we come around to the other side, the extended part of Playmakers, and like a lot of the bars here, there are indoor and outdoor seating. Now, Playmakers on this is more open air, so if it's kind of hot and humid out here, that's kind of what you're going to have to deal with. So now you can see this is what the show is like. I had to mute the sound or I get a strike from YouTube on this, but it's kind of cool to see how they can dance on the stage, and it's partially submerged. And then you're going to see here in a minute as some of the stage starts to go down. but they've got the water sprinklers there. The thing in the back that's turning, that is like a trampoline that they go on. And so they do acrobatics on there, and you can see the stage heading down right now. So as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and remember to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for checking out my video, and remember, if you're looking for a cruise, contact me and I'll find the perfect cruise vacation for you.